Okay, when I say tell Siri to start, that's because we're recording right now. Okay. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hey Siri, start.
March 2020. Faint wind chimes singing before the silence of dusk. Night will swallow us. Frost will come at dawn and settle low and shallow, melting in the sun. The birds are singing. Somewhere we lie sleeping still, waiting for summer.
April 2020. A shard of glass withered to a pebble smooth in the salty grind. The constant churning of the sea, dizzy circles where no journey ends, must end. I saw them all laid bare, a million gems resting in the sun. Outside my neighborhood, the street lamp, a sentinel for 40 years, watching night. Her world lay open and folding in at dawn to awake the rush of millions under an enduring sun. The wind claims the idle leaf, and silver cold coats its tree. A cat drinks from the last remaining puddle. Everything gives way. Winter has surrendered. Night gives her final stretch. The day greets the budding green, forgetting the dark corners and low light of yesterday. A green pebble, a gold, a clear, stationary menagerie greeting the ocean as she lays open and folds in. Everything gives way.
May 2020, Poem 1. Motors, dogs, wind, the devil-horned silhouettes of trees singing. It's 12:04 a.m. The water of meek April rains fester in the bedrocks of May. Winter is a season of waiting, ending when a fragile bud pushes through heavy winter snow. I thrash in a blanket. I need air on my skin, but nothing can push through. The buds of spring huddle, lay low, and sleep late through trouble. The ceiling fan oscillates each night. I will thrash. It's mid-May. When will it push through?
Insomnia. Muzzled. A 3-hour stretch of listlessness. Vague shadows only slightly more clear than the blanket of my eyelid. Fidgeting and neglectful of its duty. The hum of the fan, stitching a crude quilt of worry. 1 hour. 2 hour. 3. Paralyzed by the desire of stillness. Succor, demon's play, and the unwilling walk at night.
May 2020, Poem 3. Fires are burning. The valley is lit and broken. Revelers are dancing on its wasted remains, deep in the cups of hubris, and slipping on the blood of their frenzied steps. I climbed a hill. I couldn't make it higher. I carved out a shelter in rock, waiting, watching the valley below. The stomp of bloody feet shook a small pebble here above. The road below is open, but I won't leave. I can't. The pebble gains speed. It moves fast. The gold of the valley washed in a sea of red, now blanketed in gray. A cascade of rock. Hard, fast, and final.
June 2020. The hum of insects and the drone of a window fan cut through the fog of heat. It's a thirsty time. Baked earth and unsettled hearts crave what is not near at hand. Cool fall mulch underfoot may ease swollen feet, but to see past the hard glare of a barren horizon takes a stamina, a long march, and a belief that the ebb will flow and something certain will come.
July 2020. The floorboards have drank deep, drunk on paint, dirt, and secrets. Spiders run free, filling corners with promise and want. The only echoes are in our mind, fragmented lines reeling with acrid sweat in the hard early hours, and the aches of a night filled with liquor, light, and distant faces. The last coral hue of coal before it ashes. Ghosts will dance and pass the rumpled wainscoting. Mice will scurry across the scenic hues. We will file our memories away through the deep humidity of a red bandana in July. The floorboards are worn and dirty under the tramping of 1,000 feet. The future lays murky, sirens call, and we cast our nets wildly.
Desolatory, a strange stillness, marred by the intrusive persistence of black flies. The wind gives the illusion of life. Without its animation, the street could be a photo. Some documented still life of a hot August Sunday. My neighbor breaks the garish late afternoon freeze, struggling with a bright orange bucket. The hum of a distant sprinkler reminds me that August has always held moments of intense stifling. We clutch our sweaty glasses as the ice melts, and we yearn. We have always done that in August.
August 2020, Poem 2. Some things are stretched, others broken, and some are stitched. Humidity will render you open, so much done, said, and delayed. Why not? Why? There's something ancient in today. There's nothing in today but what is at hand. A bridge disappears in fog. It's not visible in intense sunlight or darkness, but it's felt in still afternoons. My past is imprinted, channels, canyons, and cliffs, and now a pause. I want to write my future in yesterday's ink, but will stay settled and patient in the late afternoon sun.
September 2020, Poem 1. The haze of August lingers, a shroud of wood smoke breaking, letting in a tenacious sun. I linger. It is still so hot, too hot. In this thick early September inertia, I settle for everything, drinking deep from tepid water. Shadows are long, days longer. The sun still satisfies its want, offering barren bones and rind to those who seek shade. If our fortunes could be told, would we wake tomorrow? Or choose to linger in the deep drunk for 20 years on Dutch absinthe? Snakes bask, mosquitoes feed, glutting on limited time. The sun wrestles the early morning chill of autumn, and we awaken reluctantly to the last clench of summer.
September 2020, Poem 2. The sun hung low through a dusty coral laced with leaden gray, swallowed by the slate-blue ridge of the coastal range. Always a night watchman, summoning the valley to settle and empty the highway of cars, eager to be home. The moon rose, smudged by smoke and early twilight. It struggles in its indigo rain. Tomorrow will be October. The sun will rise over our eastern foothills. We will wonder and look and check, waiting for rain.
October 2020, Poem number 1. Tension made the ball tightly wound over time. No beat missed, no step skipped. The ball like a spine supporting a weight subject to an intense pull. Smoke, heat, and uncertainty wound it and wound it again. Thread is not bone, and so it unravels a knotted mess much faster and looser than the slow, steady build. Blue sky and brilliance are the welcome but incongruous backdrop to a setting where my feet do not land, but float.
October 2020, Poem 2. Something wicked this way came. Something wicked reigns, gluts, and tears through the canals of my veins, careless of their tender walls. I am exiled, cloistered, uneven. My garments as shapeless as my days, an uncertain night has held. These long hours demons dance, stomp, and drink, intoxicated on what we have lost. It has been said, this too shall pass, and so we strive not to cross off our hopes like calendar days. So we keep in mind and heart during the long early hours and the most fitful sleep that morning is sure to come. The hermit will play their harp for angels, trees, and the last yellow fragment of October. In the new hours of a golden morning, demons will dream and slumber, rigid in their own torments. we will let them sleep. We will walk in a cool breeze under a mosaic of gold and red set in a brilliant blue. Daydreaming, the wind will unfurl the cloak of heat, smoke, and dust, lifting it like some tattered kite, dropping it hard on the ground, dust to dust. And so we wait, while the black turns a faint steel blue.
November 2020. They lay in the folds of the mind, released by the scent of cedar while opening the lid of a chest, the filigree of sunlight scattering on a wooden floorboard. They lay in the past, receding in the dusk of memory, not reachable, but sometimes sensed. A feeling of a certain time, the shape it took in your body, the color it stained your mind, the I you once were. They lay in your longing, all the things we've put aside. They visit in a still afternoon, one sun, the isolating brush of solitude, a forlorn transition into night. Too long, stretching beyond all the things we forgot.
December 2020, Poem 1. I can't give you ethereal portraits of night. Tone. Waiting painted in indigo. Mile 18, but so many more to go.
December 2020, Poem 2. 4 a.m., minutes drip pooling into hours. The ripples, I hope, carry me to deeper waters. And the current carry me further still to a place where I can cross the frozen river, its deep turbulence coursing under a shell of ice, and wander in moonlight and snow, someplace silent and silver. The gentle imprints of my feet will lead me back to the river, a bridge to the dripping minutes of night.
January 2021. Coats have grown, roots have burrowed deep and now inert in the frozen ground, sharing space with the mole, resigned to its sightless waiting. Red berries kiss a landscape barren and still thirsty. A dry palette spread with muted colors. Skeleton branches like bony fingers reaching for the sun, naked, hungry for their dazzling green. This harsh beauty moves slowly. It creeps toward a time remembered, vibrant colors like a hand-painted tintype. Quiet whispers, please move faster. Please move faster. Lace through the stickly fingers of the tree, through the deep dreams of the slumbering mole, through the raw, exposed, bleached grass, shivering in the frigid northern wind, through my own struggled patience and restless hibernation. Quiet whispers amplify to a long, desolate wail, and then back again to a breath, a simmering hum. When? The trees scrape and yearn for their verdant lusciousness. Soon.
February 2021. The spider is tenacious against the household broom, rebuilding its web with the art of delicate lace. A year ago, I was sitting at a bar and building, always building, taking a sip, a shot, a deep swallow, before bringing colors to a dark room, the sun setting in hallway windows unseen by me. Building, always building. The spiders wove their world in the rose hues that cast a melancholy smolder on aged bricks, built one by one. Always building. Cheap lace on an old cast-off pedestal table settling with dignity on stained cut linoleum, spots of paint from my careless brush. Building, always building. A night of solitude, of endless brush strokes, of delicious drinking, of building, always building. A night of careless dropping brushes in an old bucket of rank paint water to a trough of sweeter liquid. It's February again. The spider spins in the rose-warmed bricks. I drink sweet liquor. Do I build?
March 2021, Poem 1. 1 year. Almost. Dark wood filtered dust in shafts of waning sunlight. A creeping shadow, a monster that goes bump. It ate the night, the week, the month, the year. It eats and eats and eats. I'm tired of waiting. Indifference is the way. The wind, the course, the stretch of days. But I can't be. I am hungry. I am tired. The universe is vast, the ocean deep. History is long and hard. And to be easy and borrow. I am a grain.
March 2021, Poem 2. I would rather chase the horizon than trace it with my finger, a horizontal line of desire. The domestic crops I have tended this last year regenerate at a rapid pace, a cycle of mundane toil in my cloistered walls. Chop, sweep, fold. Chop, sweep, fold. Tally marks her tree rings, road maps a maze leading back to center. Chop, sweep, fold. A prick, a point, a puncture, and some lock opens. Chop. What lives on the horizon? Is there something in that silver line? A snip in the circle? Sweep, fold. Linear thread leading to expectation. The tape at race's end, the tracks of the rooster returning home. A prick, a point, a puncture, a smile, a hug, a store aisle lipstick, theater lights, laughter from tables, a train parallel with the horizon, welcome uncertainties. An exhale, the colors of summer,